Three, three, two.
Okay. My name is C.T. Hammonds. I'm doing a learning strategy presentation for BSL 3301. I'm utilizing the second grade math TEK 2.2C, the online TEK app. The TEK is the students expected to generate a number that is greater or less than any given whole number up to 1200. The content objective is we will utilize whole numbers and the number line to identify numbers greater or less than any given whole number. The language objective is utilize prior knowledge to understand new concept by listening actively, asking relevant questions, and answering questions using multi-word responses. The ELP is use prior knowledge experience to understand meanings in English. So today, class, we're going to talk about numbers that are bigger and smaller, and we're going to introduce a couple new concepts, which is greater or less than. So let's just start. I have a pile of numbers here between 1 and 20, and I just picked 3 numbers out. Can you tell me what number this is, Zaya?
3.
And Zaya, what number is this?
8.
Very good. And what number is this?
17.
Very good. So I'm going to use pennies today as my manipulative. So what I did was I took out 3 pennies, counted out 3 pennies to go in the group under the 3. I took out 8 pennies here to go underneath the 8. And I counted out 17 pennies to go underneath the 17. So I did this just so that you can see, visualize that 3 is less than 8 or is smaller than 8. And 17 is greater than 8. So 8 is kind of in the middle. So 3 is smaller and 17 is bigger than 8. So with that being said, I'm going to take us to our concept. So we can utilize manipulatives to figure out which number is greater or smaller or bigger or smaller. But we also can use our number line that's behind us on the board. So what I'm going to do is I have a number line here. I place the 3 by the 3 on the number line, the 8 by the 8, and the 17 by the 17. So what we can see by looking at the number line, because the number line is what in sequential order and in order as we know numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. So we know 1 is the smallest number on the number line, and we know that 20 is the largest number on the number line. So if we look at our numbers on the number line, we know that 17 is larger than 8, right? And 8 is larger than 3. So if we want to talk about numbers, we know in our 3 numbers, 17 is the bigger number. So I'm going to introduce to you this new concept, which would be a greater or less than sign. Greater means bigger, less than means smaller. So we know with this sign, the opening of the sign or the mouth of the sign points towards the larger number, and the point points towards the smaller number. So what this is saying here on our board is that 8 here is less than the number 17. So let's say that again. 8 is less than the number 17. So Zaya, why is 8 less than 17? You are correct, Zaya. 8 is less than 17 because 17 is bigger and because that mouth is facing towards the 17, which is the larger number. Now, if I wanted to say it another way, hold on. So here we have 8 is less than 17. 17 is the bigger number. The mouth is pointing towards the 17. But down here on our board, we have the mouth is pointing towards the other way. So here we can say 8 is less than 17 because this point is pointing towards the lesser number, which is 8. Now, if we want to look at it in a different way, we can say here, because the mouth is pointing towards the 11, 11 is bigger than 1. So here we would say 11 is greater than 1. So whatever direction the mouth is pointing, that's the way we would utilize it. So let's bring this 8 down here. And let's just look at it again without the number line. So what we see here is we have 11. The mouth is going towards the 11, so that's greater than 1. And then we have 8, and the point is first, so that means 8 is less than 17. So this is a greater than sign, and this is a less than sign. Less than means smaller. We know that 8 is less than 17 because we could go back to our pennies, and we have our pile of 8 pennies, and we have our pile of 17, and we can see that it's way more pennies in the pile of 17 and 8. So let's try another example and see if you get it. So we're going to start with the numbers 2 and 4, and we're going to start with counting out our pennies. So we can count out 2 pennies here, and then we'll count out 4 pennies. So if we look at our pennies, we can tell that 4 pennies is more than 2 pennies, right? So now we're going to go to our number line and see if we can tell. If we're on our number line, here's the number 4, and here's the number 2. So if we utilize our number line, we can see that 2 is less than 4, or 2 is less or smaller than 4, or we can say it in another way, which is 4 is bigger than 2. Now, let's go over to our new concept here on the board. We can see that 2 here is smaller, so our point would need to go towards the 2, right? So which sign would we use? Correct. We would use this sign because we want our point to go towards our 2, which is the smaller number, and we want our mouth to go towards the bigger number, which is 4. So the way we would read this class is 2 is less than 4. Can you say that with me? Say 2 is less than 4.
4.
Very good, because which number is the bigger number, class?
2 and 4.
4 is the bigger number. Correct. So the mouth is going towards the 4 and the point is going to the 2. We're going to do one more example, class.
Teacher?
So the numbers that we're going to use is 5 and 10. If you can see here with our pennies, there's more pennies in the pile than in the 10 group than it is in the 5. So 10 is the bigger number. Correct, class. So let's just take these numbers to our number line. If we take them here to our number line, we see that 5 is here and 10 is there. So which number would be bigger, class?
Teacher?
You are correct, class. 10 would be the larger number because it's going to the right on the number line. 5 is here, which is smaller. 10 is here, which is bigger. Now let's go over to our new concept. Here we have 10 and 5. We know that 10 is the bigger number, correct? So the mouth would need to face the 10. Correct, class? Correct. So 10 with the mouth greater than 5. So here we have 10 is greater than 5. And here we have what, class? 2, because the point is facing the 2, that's less than 4. Very good, class. So now we'll get a worksheet to continue our studies.